Hello everybody. Today we are going to be looking at lesson number 7. In the last one we looked at how to use AI to do things in a business. This one we're going to look at how to use AI to do things that are creative, artistic type projects. We're talking about art, we're talking about making books, we're talking about making movies. So AI really lends itself to creativity. It's often made by people who are themselves very creative. There's a lot of super creative people that are in the teams at Midjourney, in the team at OpenAI, and another tool I'll show you as well called Runway ML, and also some very creative people at the Google AI team. So let's look at how to actually use some tools. What we're in right now is a program called Canva. You may or may not have used Canva before, but you don't have to pay anything to use it. It does have a very good free mode. What we're going to do today is use it to create an illustrated children's book, and we're going to use ChatGPT and Midjourney to create this book. So what I'm going to do is click Create a Design here in Canva, click A4 Document, and here is the just blank page for us. What I want to do, and we're not going to make a whole book today, I'm going to show you the basics of it, but what we're going to do is get images and text. And before we get started, I had showed y'all this project that I had made before for my niece. It was a book using an image generator called DALL-E and using GPT-3 to write the story itself. This was created just a few months ago, and the technology has improved significantly since then. The level of stories that we're able to create and the quality of illustrations is better than ever. So let's go over here to ChatGPT. Here's our image generating AI, which we have trained in another lesson, but we're going to start a new chat with it. And what we're going to do is we are going to come in here and we're going to tell it, you are an expert children's book author. Please create a story about an astronaut's journey to, let's say, Europa. Europa is a icy moon of Jupiter, and we'll see how much it gets right on that. From the level of, let's say 6th grade. Oh, cool. Nice. So this gives us several paragraphs, and I like the way that it breaks it into paragraphs because we can make this like a page at a time. And what I want to do is copy one of these paragraphs and ask for an illustration over here in our image generator. So let's go to image prompts format here. And there I actually have a little bit better version of this trained, so I just switched over to that. So what I'm going to do is say, create a children's book illustration from the following paragraph. And this is something you don't have to use like the actual text that GPT generates to create the image. I'm just doing this to show you that you can use it to get ideas for the kind of image you want. It's quite possible you know what the illustration should look like in your mind. You can use your imagination and creativity to think of the picture that should go with this, but we're just going to use this for an example for our image generating purposes here. So look at this. It knows of a children's book author. I don't even know who this is. And it just really creates this amazing prompt for us out of this first part of our story. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to our Discord with Midjourney. See, I was making some Steve Jobs portraits for another project I was working on. And we're going to ask it to create this image here. And this takes less than a minute. So I'm going to time travel to when it's ready. And here we are. Here's our image. This looks pretty good. This looks like something that is in the style of like a book you would see at the store. It's pretty cool. But let's say that we want to go with a different art style. This is going to be one of the biggest things if you do a AI image generated book or story or magazine or whatever you're going to make. It's just getting a style that you like and getting a consistent style. So what I'm going to do is go over here to, let's say that we want a slightly different style. This is cool, but let's say we want something different. Let's go and say, let's say create a children's book. No, let's just not start with children's book. Let's say, let's create a book illustration in the style of, let's go with Astropunk, because that will be, Astropunk is like a genre, it's not a specific artist. In the style of Astropunk for the following paragraph. There we go. Well, we copied our prompt here, so let me grab this here. All right, so let's see what it makes for us here in ChatGPT. Did it get stuck? I'll pause till it's done. This is taking a minute. There we go. All right, so I'm going to copy this over to Midjourney. I'm not gonna include this no tags here because I think this is a little bit too, I think ChatGPT is being a little bit too elaborate for what Midjourney wants. So saying no traditional spacesuits, replacing them with sleek, edgy Astropunk designs, no. Midjourney knows to do that on its own when you say Astropunk. So we're going to go over here to our Midjourney tab, and we're going to imagine it, and we're going to do an aspect ratio of 16:9, which is like widescreen. Let's see how this turns out. All right, so already this is looking quite a bit better. We're at 93% here, and our image is done. This is more along the lines of what I was going for. This looks pretty awesome. Love the cyberpunk and astropunk sort of art style, and if I was making a book, this is probably what I would use. Let's say we grab this image here, and that would be upscale 2. We click that button, it gives us the upscaled version here. Let's go into our Canva design here and do file. Let me move my video bubble here. Hang on, I'm going to figure out how to rotate this. All right, I figured out how to do it. So we go to resize, and we want this to be landscape, not portrait. We want it to be horizontal, not vertical. So what we do is we go in here and just switch this. So 210 and 297, instead it's 297 and 210. And then we just click resize. And now it's landscape, perfect. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go to our Midjourney. We're going to grab our first illustration here, click open in browser, save it, and this will just go to our downloads. I have a whole Midjourney folder here, so we're going to click save, show in Finder, and this is open on another monitor of mine. So now we're going to go back in here to Canva. We're going to grab our image that we just downloaded and drop it right in here. We're going to, and you can, when you're making your image in Midjourney, you can make it perfectly match the aspect ratio of this That's not that hard to do. So since it doesn't perfectly match, we're just going to expand it until it does. So now it fits our whole page. We'll trim these borders off here. And now we're going to click on text. And under text, we're going to click add a subheading, just because that's about the size of font that we want to just have a start with. And since it's hard to read this font with the image in the background, what we're going to do is we're going to click on the text, we're going to click on effects, and then we're going to, let me move my video bubble here, we're going to click on background, and now we can, I don't know if yellow is the perfect color for this, so what we're going to do is click that, click plus, click this little eyedropper here. We're gonna pick one of the colors from down here, one of the super bright ones, so it matches our image. And we're going to come back to GPT. Where did we go? Here we go. And we're going to grab our first paragraph here at the start of our story. Copy that. Come back here to Canva and paste it. So this is too large. We're just going to click the minus until we get it about the right size for us. And maybe we don't want it to stretch across the whole image. Maybe we want it to be more bubble style. And so now, let's put it over here and make it even a little smaller. There we go. So now here's page 1 of our book. It looks pretty cool. It did not take us long to make, and it has the style that we want. In fact, we can even change this font here to match more of what we would want our book to be like. Like, this is a pretty futuristic looking font, but it's pretty hard to read. Let's go in here, and I love fonts. And if you do creative things, you will probably enjoy making some fonts as well. Let's go with Bauhaus. This is kind of a retro looking font. It's great for our story. We'll make it bold. Now it looks even better. Look at that. This looks like something, almost looks like something you would pay for, right? So if you're creative, if you want to create stories, you can use artificial intelligence to get you started and make some awesome stuff. Again, our workflow for this, and when you're using AI, you'll get familiar with what workflows are. It's just the order of things that you do stuff. Is number 1, you think of the kind of story you want to tell. And then you think of the kind of level you want it to be told from. This is a children's book author. We could also have, you are an expert in the style of J.R.R. Tolkien, author of Lord of the Rings. So we could have a much more advanced style of our book too. We don't even have to have illustrations, but it's really fun to make a book with illustrations. Even Lord of the Rings had illustrations. So this is Canva, free to use, and then you can go to share and you can go to download. Once you have your book done, you can go to download and you can pick PDF, and then you can just click download and it will have all those pages in there for you, and it will be a file that is ready to share. You could even make this into a digital product, and if you wanted to make a Instagram or a TikTok or some social media platform channel about space exploration from the point of view of your character, you could do that, and you could make the link in your bio. You could make the link the store to go to your little online landing page to buy your book, or even just make it free. So that's one of the future ways that creators will be able to make an income, and I have seen this happen, is to create things with AI and then share their passion for the creation process, why they make it, what their story is, just all that good artist info on social media, and offer the product available for download. It's quite a awesome future. It definitely beats, in most cases, it definitely beats working in a factory, right? Or any of the old school career paths that we used to have to choose from just as a human civilization. to be able to make art and share it and be very creative with these incredibly powerful tools is amazing. So that is making a book with illustrations using Midjourney, Canva, and ChatGPT. Let's next go into art styles. So this is an example of Astropunk art. There are so many styles of art out there. This is a website that I use to just get inspiration or to tune what I want my images to look like. So this is midlibrary.io/styles. And there are so many art and photography type examples in here. This is an amazing resource for artists. Let's just pick one and then use Midjourney to create in that style. Let's go to, what's a cool one here? What's a cool one? We're gonna pick, this one's kind of cool, biological illustration. This is like stuff that you would see in like an educational book about biology. Let's see what happens when we make a biological illustration of, let's do SpongeBob. Let's do a biological illustration of SpongeBob. And the point of this is just to show you can make all kinds of art styles, and even photography styles are listed in that page. But if you know of a photography style or an artist, you can also do this. And it can even be like in the style of whatever, like a 2000s Apple ad. It doesn't have to be a specific artist or photography. It's just, you can do things in the style of, and Midjourney's usually pretty good at that. So what we're going to do is SpongeBob SquarePants biological illustration. This should be pretty funny. And let's put Patrick in there too. And Squidward. And let's go. Let's see what this comes up with. I will time travel to when it's done. All right, so here are the results. I want to point out that this first one was done using Midjourney 5.1, and 5.1 is not necessarily trained on all of the styles of art yet. Maybe it doesn't necessarily know what biological illustration means, and this is the results that we got here. They're pretty funny. Some of the characters aren't super recognizable, but let's go and see what just Midjourney 5 came up with. This looks a lot more like a biological illustration, like especially this one. This very much matches the vibe of SpongeBob. It's kind of a little weird, slightly gross sometimes, and this matches like high detail levels of that you would expect in a biological illustration. So that is a type of art, bio illustration. Let's do a specific artist and also talk a little bit about ethics, because it's important to consider the ethics of using someone's art style. Like if someone spent their whole career making a specific kind of art, and then you come in there and rip it off in 90 seconds and sell it in a book, that's probably not the most ethical or right thing to do. I don't think there's any laws against it yet. There probably will be in the future, but let's say that we grab the art style of, let's do, I know there's just so many choices, so much incredible stuff here. So let's grab the art style of, let's see if I can find one that has a specific vibe to it. I mean, all of these do, but let's do artificial intelligence in the style of this sculptor here. So you just click on it and it copies their name. Let's come back here to Midjourney, and we're going to do artificial, oh, I need to imagine. artificial intelligence in the style of, and I will time travel us to it being ready. And just while that's going, I want to show you something called runwayml.com. Runwayml.com it started out as a video editor, and you can upload your videos to it and edit it kind of like you would inside of iMovie or some other movie editor. But there's all kinds of artificial intelligence things you can do for your footage, as well as just your photos and other stuff here. So for example, you can colorize a black and white picture. You can make something super slow motion that was not filmed in slow motion. You can generate a transcript, so take a audio file and get text from it. You can do, where is it? Here it is, infinite image, where you expand the image, an existing image that you have, and it will just make up additional things that go inside of that image. You can do a backdrop remix. There's all kinds of crazy stuff you can do with Runway ML, and they actually have a free account. So I would recommend getting on here, if you're a creative type, getting on here and playing with the tools that Runway ML has. It's quite amazing the things that it can do. And again, there is a free account, which is pretty awesome. Also, I want to show you something called Music LM. This is from Google, and they created a way to create music using prompts. And again, a prompt is when you type in text into an artificial intelligence and get a result out. So there's some crazy stuff in here. I'm going to let you sample some of it. Let's say this melodic techno is pretty good here. It's pretty accurate. That's pretty good. This is pretty impressive as well. They're able to put different like vibes here into the music, and then it generates it based on those vibes. That's the meditate part, and then here's the time to wake up part. Right here. And you'll notice that it's not like in a language that we can recognize. I think when it does that, it's kind of like when AI image generators try to depict text. But that is a free thing. It is Music LM. You can go to their page, blog.google.com. You can pause it and get this whole URL here. But then you can click on sign up and you can join their beta. It is free. It's very interesting. But that is opportunities for creative expression. Let's look at how Midjourney did with generating the depiction of artificial intelligence in a sculpture. It's looking kind of robotic, which is about what you would want with artificial intelligence in sculpture. But again, this looks very much like this artist's style. Remember to do ethical things and don't rip off a specific artist's style and then put it into something that you sell. That would not be really the right thing to do. In the future, I think we will probably be able to, we'll definitely be able to train AI on our own art styles, which will be very, very useful. I think this one's probably the coolest to me, but these are amazing. This one looks kind of like Iron Man in some way. That's creative expression with artificial intelligence. For your homework, what I would like you to do is tell me what your, it doesn't have to, this is not a permanent decision, but right now what you're most interested in, whether that's telling stories through text or making art or making music with AI. So would you rather tell a story, make art, or make music with AI? That's paragraph 1. And then and tell me why. you're drawn to that. In paragraph 2, I want you to describe and outline a project that you would like to do with AI. Those are your 2 paragraphs of homework for this lesson. Thank you so much for coming. I'm Chris Rimbolt. This is Future Homeschool, and we are learning about artificial intelligence. In the next and final class, what we will learn about is the future of AI, the singularity, and what will happen when artificial intelligence starts to get embodied. And what that means is it starts to get put into robots. I will see y'all next time.